go!
I'm going to start. I know that, we've been watching the numbers ever since we started this today. And the numbers, people are buying the product. But, and I just want to bring this up. I was just watching Dr. Bigman talk. You guys all saw it. And he talked about a low-carb diet versus a high-fat diet. The high-fat diet operated better in every way, shape, and form over a low-fat diet, the high-carb diet. There wasn't one metric where it performed better. So if you had any doubt before right now, most people who are following this summit, you don't have any doubt because you're here because this works, right? Oh, Andy, I hate you right now. You have a coffee? You have a coffee? Come on. Now you see, I was just coming in to introduce Nina, and then I was going to make a coffee. If Serena's still upstairs watching this, honey, I love you so much. I tell you, if a Pure Coffee Club espresso showed up here, I would not be upset. If any of you guys out there have Serena's phone number, like Jackie Jones or someone who might have it, please text her and tell her that I can really use an espresso right now. Oh, thanks, Jennifer. All right. So, yeah, he was talking about high-fat diets versus high-carb diets, and it just performs better in every which way. And this is something I've been talking about. Andy's known me for, is it 30 years, Andy, or 20?
I'll tell you exactly. We met around November 1991, so we're going on 29 years.
29 years. What have I been talking about for 29 years? What have I been doing for 29 years besides breathing that you know of?
You've been trying to get people to eat right.
Yeah.
For 29 years.
Exactly. It's not like I figured this out last week and went, okay.
No. You were talking about this stuff literally from the time that I met you, when you looked like a real Goomba with all the big black hair and the tight
hair. Look at me, I'm almost bald.
You had like a Tony Manero hair.
Oh, I did. Don't measure my hair.
And that's another one of my dated references. Tony, I don't know how many people know who Tony Manero is.
Everyone knows that movie. It's one of the best movies of all time.
It's a great movie.
Saturday Night Fever. Come on.
So I pulled that name out of my ear.
So, yeah, this is something I've been talking about for a long time, pushing with my clients for a long time. Andy can remember back in Hollywood when they would want me to kind of bastardize it. Back in the days when we had infomercials, right? They would want me to bastardize this and go, hey, can we add it and make it a this or make it a that and sell it with this and do all this, hey, you're trying to sell steak. Literally, we're trying to sell sizzle. Andy remembers all of that because he helped me put together all these proposals on everything. That was a real thing. And it wasn't until the internet age when a guy like me could literally get rid of the gatekeepers, where I didn't have to count on someone else's money to tell me what works or what might not work or what could kind of work, right? I was able to start pushing it myself. And as I said in my keynote speech this morning, I was afraid to use the word keto when I wrote the book. I was. It was, Dean Laurie kept going, why don't we just put it out there front and center? And I said, no, I can't do that. I just can't, because people are going to think it's ketoacidosis. It's going to be misconstrued. It's going to just get all mixed up. And I won't be teaching anyone anything. So once again, I'll Serena, if you're listening, honey, I can really use an espresso. Anyway, so that's where I was with the whole thing. Andy, your screen seems to come in and out.
I know it's my camera. I've tried everything. It's just going to keep. That's just what it is today. It's going to keep popping up and down.
Cool. I'm okay with it as long as everyone. I think
I apologize, everybody. I've tried it with the laptop. I don't know what the issue is. The laptop was terrible, and this is what's happening here, and I don't have time to fix it.
I just every time I see it, throws me a little.
I know.
So getting back to Benjamin Bigman, you have one of the smartest men on the planet who, like me, loves the band Rush, who will sit there and say, "Look, here's the study showing that low-fat diets are not advantageous in any way, shape, or form. They pale in comparison." So when I come up with a product along with Andy, and the product is a high-fat product, and there's no BS in it, there's no allulose, there's no monk fruit,
erythritol, or monk fruit, or any of that garbage.
All of it. It's just not there. So, and we were able to do it and make it taste good. That's the crazy part about all of this. Usually, when you have any of this food that athletes eat, usually when they make it for athletes, they don't really care about making it taste good. And we somehow figured out how to make it taste good, which wasn't a great feat because we did what I always do. Being Cajun and being Italian, I don't think sweet. I think savory. And savory works like a charm. So that's what I did. I said, how about we go savory? Good idea. How about we make that savory count? We make it an electrolyte. Again, good idea, right? Just really good idea. So that's what we did. We went savory. We used the Ultra Salt, which is a standout product for athletes around the world. As a matter of fact, now lay people are picking up on it more than just ultra athletes and everyone else. And they're figuring out, oh, wait, when I'm cutting the grass in the hot summer sun, this product works. Just yesterday, I saw on Twitter, people were going, man, this is really a game changer. I'm like, yeah, you don't have to listen to me. It's a game changer. We know that. We know that going in. We know what the product is. Andy, talk a little bit, if you don't mind, about the product and the shipping, and we finally got the site up in the 11th hour. Let's pull the curtain back just a little bit before we open the floor to questions about the product.
Sure. So we've been working on this for months and months now, and there's a lot more that goes into starting a business than just the product, but that was where we started. Before we even started with incorporating and doing all the banking and all that kind of, just the mundane stuff you have to do to start a business like that, we wanted to get the product right. So we worked on the formula, you and I, and the fellow who's doing this in his kitchen for us, commercial kitchen. It's not like somebody's home kitchen. When I say the guy's doing it in his kitchen, this is a commercial kitchen where we're doing all of this. We had to get the formula right. We had, bless Serena's heart.
Scott Thomas right there.
Very, very nice.
Greatest woman on the planet.
So we had to, we knew basically what we wanted to do. We knew the ingredients, that we wanted them to be very clean, that we wanted a raw almond butter. We did not want a roasted almond butter. We wanted absolutely raw, natural almond butter where the ingredients are almonds. That is literally the only ingredient in the almond butter. And then, you can't just put almond butter alone in this kind of a product. It's too thick. You can't squeeze it out properly. And it's also not giving you the maximum benefit that you can get out of a product like that. So we wanted to go with coconut oil, which is the purest and cleanest kind of, it falls in the family of MCT oils, but it is the purest and cleanest and most natural of those. It's not anything that's cooked up in a lab.
Andy, let me jump in right there from an athletic standpoint, and I want you to continue on. But just let me put just a finer point on that pencil. When it comes to, people go, well, wait, why should I use coconut oil? MCT oil is better. Well, coconut oil is an MCT oil. All MCT oil is a medium chain triglyceride. Your body can use that fat as currency. Okay, so you saw Dr. Bigman talking about fat cells and how things enter fat cells and how things leave fat cells and so on and so forth. A long-chain triglyceride has more trouble negotiating in and out of a fat cell. I'm giving you a cartoon version of it. But the bottom line is a medium and a short-chain triglyceride can flow in and out and be used as energy. It can give you that kind of energy feel you would normally get from sugar. You notice how, like, if you're a cyclist or a runner or whatever, and you're slugging along and you start to hurt and you run out of energy, if you squirt sugar in your mouth, you're brand new for 5 minutes. Actually, you're brand new for about 15 or 20 minutes. And then when that burns off, you're worse than you were before.
Yeah, you feel like crap then.
Yeah, and unless you stay on that sugar train and just keep eating sugar, which then starts to cause inflammation, it's all over with, right? So with MCT oil, with what you get is that medium chain triglyceride that you get to use as an immediate energy, and it helps you burn other fat. The other fat could be the fat that's on your body. So that's a cartoon version as to how it works. Go back if you want to watch Benjamin Bigman's thing again. We're going to have it up later, and you can see that. Now, here's the key. People say, well, why not do a more refined, I've seen products that's just pure MCT oil. Basically, what they're doing is they're taking that coconut flavor out, and they're refining it so much that it makes it, the refined process makes it to where your body doesn't recognize it. It starts to see it almost, not quite, but almost as a poison. And I'm sure people are going to start writing comments right now. If you have a little too much of an over-refined MCT oil, there better be a bathroom right there.
Yeah.
It's running through you like it's going through a goose. It just is. And I think everyone's been there. When you use coconut oil and you mix it in the right mixture with, something like a nut butter, you're not going to have that same problem at all. And I tried to screw up on this product, because I was making it all the time, using it over and over and over, taking too much of it, doing everything I could to cause myself to get sick. You would really have to overindulge.
You'd have to eat like a quart of it, which nobody would do. You'd nauseate it first.
Yeah, you would never do it.
Yeah.
So that's why coconut oil over MCT oil. Andy, go ahead. Go back to what you were
saying. All right. So that's why we settled on the coconut oil. And then we have to figure out the ratio of almond butter to coconut oil to make sure we got not only the right flavor, but the right consistency. It's got to be the right consistency when you squeeze it out of the package. And as Vinnie said, we looked at how do we make this this product taste delicious without doing what other people do, which is adding any kind of a sweetener, and going the savory route made a lot of sense to us because, frankly, almond butter on its own, as well as coconut oil, do have a natural sweetness to them. So it's already tickling that part of your tongue a little bit. We enhance that a little bit by adding natural vanilla, which has no sugar at all, but it doesn't affect that same part of your tongue that feels like you're getting something on the sweet side. So everybody loves, that's why, things like salted caramel ice cream, got popular because people love that salty sweet taste. And rather than just adding salt, as Vinnie said, we wanted to make that savory part count. So we happen to have the perfect product with Pure Vitamin Club's Ultra Salt Electrolyte Complex. Again, apologies for my crazy video. What I may do, I'm going to shut off my video. You'll still be able to hear me, but it'll be less distracting.
Okay.
So you can all still hear me, right?
Yeah, you're
okay.
right.
All right, so this will be less distracting. So yeah, we said, let's add some of our Ultra Salt, and we started to experiment with that as we did our mixtures. And we literally, the group of us sat around in this commercial kitchen with tubs of the raw almond butter and tubs of the coconut oil, and before we had even the opportunity to get the Ultra Salt in bulk, because we didn't, had not planned on that. So we were literally opening up capsules of Ultra Salt and measuring how much we put in to get the right ratios and playing with the vanilla. anyway, long story short, we came up with what we thought were the right ratios, where you get that salty goodness, but not too much. We don't want you choking on salt, and also that you get some decent benefit from the electrolytes. Anybody who's been following Vinnie for a while knows how important electrolytes are to your athletic performance, and especially if you are eating a low-carb lifestyle, you need more electrolytes in your diet. So we did that. We worked that out very, very well. We continued to test it, and then we started about the technical aspects of starting the business. Where are we going to order the pouches from that this is going to go into? Where do we order the other? We had never been in any kind of a food business. So like we did when we started the vitamin business, we figured it out. And we were able to do everything made in the USA. Give you a sense of the, before I continue. So we wanted to give a couple of flavor options too. So the one thing we thought, once we had our basic flavor, which was the almond butter with the coconut oil and vanilla and the ultra salt, we said, what if we added some coffee? And
yeah, that's always a me thing. It's like, okay, we have this, put some coffee in it, see what happens.
Yeah, so we figured out that if we grind the coffee as fine as it is as you can grind it, which is basically like a Turkish coffee kind of blend where it's just a really fine powder, you can mix it in the blend and not get any grittiness. It doesn't feel like, what are those little bits? It just blends in completely. So for every serving of UltraFet, which is they're 1 1/4 ounces in a pouch, you have 1 gram of coffee. Gives you a tiny little bit of caffeine. It's not going to give you a major caffeine kick, but it does give you a little bit. But more importantly, it gives you a great flavor as an alternative to the one without. And that's really the only difference between the two flavors. One has the coffee, one doesn't. Nutritional information is exactly the same. You've got, in every pouch, you have 25 grams of fat, of which 11 are saturated fat, no trans fats. You got 114 milligrams of sodium, 217 milligrams of potassium, 107 of calcium, 80 milligrams of magnesium, 740 micrograms of manganese. You've only got 5 grams of carbohydrates, of which 4 grams are dietary fiber and 1 gram is naturally occurring sugar from the almonds. Almonds have a little bit of natural sugar. So that's all you're getting in any pouch, is you're getting 1 gram of naturally occurring sugar. It's not gonna take you out of dietary ketosis. It's not gonna harm you whatsoever. And we wanted to make it in a way that was easy to eat. So, we're not the first company to do a single serving pouch of a nut butter, but, we went to the extra step. I know one of the complaints that I've heard from a lot of people about some other products is that when you put the packet in your mouth to squeeze the product out, the little corners on the top would cut your mouth. So let me
jump in there. That's something that I actually complained about from the beginning of, and look, over the years back on the bike, sometimes when you would have goo or any of that stuff, and I can't tell you the number of times I've cut the corner of my mouth with those products, because you have these sharp mylar edges. And if you look at right behind me here, let's see if I could just point to it. If you look at our packaging here, we've rounded off the edges and we made this come up really nice and tight so that once you rip the little top off, you can easily squirt it into your mouth without having to put the whole thing in your mouth and try to rip the sides of your mouth open.
Yeah. I will say that the actual package is a little bit different than what you see there. That is a mock-up so that we could get something that looked like a 3D. So the top is a little bit different, but it does have the rounded edges like that. We had to have our pouch manufacturer create a custom die for us, which we did. It cost us a little bit of money, but it was worth it. So they created the custom die. We unfortunately don't have a photograph of that yet, but as soon as we have those in hand, we'll have that professionally photographed. But that was important to us. These are so easy to eat. You literally just kind of give them a good knead, squeeze them a little bit to make sure everything is nice and blended, tear off the top, and eat it down. People have asked, when do we advocate eating this? Is it a snack food? Is it a post-workout? Is it a during workout? Is it dessert? And the answer is yes to all of it. It's great to bring on a bike ride or a run or a hike or anything like that, or at the gym when you want a little bit of energy, but you don't want a power bar or a Cliff Bar or anything with sugar. We are selling them right now exclusively on nsngfoods.com. We will be putting them on Amazon. They'll be up there in a couple of weeks. We offer them as a single, we sell them in packs of 10. It's not practical at all to sell them one at a time. So they're selling in packs of 10 for $24.95. But if you subscribe, and we have weekly, bi-weekly, and monthly subscription options, you save 15%, which brings it down, I think, to $21.24. I think that's the number.
Andy, let me ask the question.
Yeah.
Let's say I went in right now and got a subscription. So that brings me now to $21.95, right?
$21.24.
Okay, $21.24.
Yeah.
And then can I still do the 20% NSNG?
Yeah, one has nothing to do with the other. So right now for this weekend, and it's actually going to be active until Tuesday, we're offering a 20% introductory discount to everybody who is participating here by entering the promo code SUMMIT, SUMMIT. It is not case sensitive, so it doesn't matter whether it's upper or lower case. And that will be 20% off of either $24.95 or if you subscribe to $21.24 for the first order. If you subscribe, you get that discount on the first one, and then on the renewals, it goes back to the full $21.24 price. $5 shipping, whether you order one pack or 10, it's just $5 flat shipping. I wish we could offer free shipping, but we can't. We just can't do it.
So look, folks, I would suggest, even though you haven't tried the product, you might want to buy 5 of them up front. You get the same shipping.
It's the same shipping whether you buy 1 or 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say I want to be completely transparent up front. Everything is ready to go, but our first shipping date will not be until a week from Monday. We will be shipping all the orders that come in this weekend, and until then, starting a week from Monday. So I apologize for that 1 week delay. Anybody who's ever started a business knows that if something can happen to delay you in some part of the process, it will. But all of those kinks have been worked out, including, I won't mention it, but we had a typo on the homepage that was fairly comical that got corrected just about an hour and a half ago.
I meant to tell you that, Andy. It was brought to my attention. Oh, Andy, even though we're not taking questions yet, I want to bring this one up. Terry Lazaru, who he's a cyclist like myself. He's up in Canada.
Yeah.
He's asking the Canadian question, can they get it up in Canada?
Oh yes, yeah. We have. You'll be able to order this in all 50 states, Canada, Puerto Rico, Guam, and the other U.S. islands. Like absolutely, the way U.S. Postal Service works, anything that is considered a U.S. territory, so that includes Guam and U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, all of that. Hey, look, one of our key staff members is from Guam.
Yeah.
Steffi was born in Guam.
Hey, another question. I know this is going off the page a little bit.
Okay.
Because we're going to get asked this question real quickly. When are we going to get it to our company in Europe? Because we sell our vitamins in Europe.
Yes.
How far?
That's going to take. That's not going to be very long. The thing that took us the longest on getting Pure Vitamin Club to Europe was getting a flippin' bank account. And that was just because it's UK banking, which is where we do our operations, is very, very difficult for a company that has ownership outside of the UK to get a bank account. And it took us a year being turned down by one bank after another, and it had nothing to do with credit, had nothing to do, we weren't even asking for credit. We were asking for the ability to put money into a bank account and transact business.
Give them money. It was the craziest thing in the world. It's like, can we?
Anyway, that was the difficult part. So we have not had time. Our focus was getting this company up and running. Now that it is, we will go through the process, which basically means filing a new company with the governmental agency that does that. It's called Companies House in the UK. That's where you, it's like a Secretary of State type thing. That's where you register your business. Then we have to get our VAT text with Her Majesty's Revenue and Collections. And then we set up a website, and we already have a pick, pack, and ship facility in England that is handling Pure Vitamin Club. We will have them handle this product as well. So we're very well positioned to have this done inside of, I would say, 90 to 120 days. I hope that I'm not being overly ambitious, but I think it can. I think that can be done because it's not as complicated this time. We've got the bank account already, so we can add another account to that one, and it's now that we know the bank that will work with us. So it should be fairly easy. We want to get that up, and we want to get it available on Amazon in the UK as well. That gets a little difficult because you have they're just different hurdles to get up on Amazon overseas. But that's where we are. You will see. I'm gonna put my camera on again because I want to share something here. The package will come looking like this. You'll see 10. Huh?
We don't see your camera.
You don't see my camera?
No, it's just the NSNG Foods sign.
I'm holding up.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know why. You should be seeing me, but
there you are. Hold it closer to your face. There you go.
I can do the game show thing.
Yeah, like that. Like Carol Merrill.
Carol Merrill or Vanna White. Yeah. So this is what the package is going to look like. I'm going to mute my screen again so it stops all that jumping around. But that's it. Again, it's there's no product like this on the market. We're very proud of it. It tastes incredible. I think people are going to be really happy with it.
Andy, I do a thing with it here at home. Whenever I was mixing up batches, because I would have to mix them up, pull up my little gram scale, and I'd mix them up, and I would make a lot of it so that I can test it and test it and test it. Yeah. And what I would do is I would put them into these little bowls and just stick them in the fridge. I didn't want ants to come running on the counter and eat it, because I would have to kill each ant individually. And so I put it in the fridge, and because of the MCT oil, the coconut oil, it would get like firm, right? Yeah. And a couple of times I was sitting in front of television at night, I would just go in there and grab the bowl and just start eating it like ice cream. Like ice cream? Yeah. And like a lot of nights, I was like, I had a couple of bites, and of course, it's all the fat you need. I was ready to put it back, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to just sit here and keep eating this. I was literally trying to make myself sick on our product and couldn't do it. Well, that's a little crazy, but I know people will ask this. You do not need to keep this in the refrigerator. You just keep this in the cupboard, wherever you keep this kind of stuff. And take it with you wherever you go. And it's super easy. Just rip off the top. I'm not going to say the words, but you'll see at the top of the pack what we say to do with the package before you eat it. What else can we say about it, Vin? That is it. Folks, go order it right now. I want to open up the floor to questions. Andy, you can see I see a bunch of questions here, but I'm going to let you. Yeah, I think at the bottom it says ask a question. Do you see that on your screen, Vinny? Yeah. If you click on that, it'll pop up, and if you start at the top, you'll have the questions that most people have voted for. Okay. Can you talk about what to do with the product? Just eat it. Okay. Yes, that's a good question. It got 3 votes. So. All right. The product, I always tell people to think of everything like you would think of Gatorade, right? When I was a kid, Gatorade did not taste the way it tastes now. Back in I was playing football in 1970, let's call it three, and it was called Stokely's Gatorade, and it was made by a scientist out of Florida. I want to say Florida State University, or maybe Florida. Maybe it wasn't the U. It's one of the Florida schools. So Gatorade used to taste very salty and sugary at the same time because there was a lot of electrolytes in there, and they put real cane sugar, and it was a different tasting product. Now, look, it was still too much sugar, but the product really kind of worked. They had to make something that actually worked for these athletes. Well, just like everything else that's made for an athlete, people started using it at home. If a kid got sick, when I was a kid, it was like, hey, your kid got sick, throwing up all night, he's dehydrated. Doctor would say, hey, go get some of this Gatorade. I remember my mom was going, is that okay to give to my kids? And by the way, Gatorade used to only come in that lemon lime green flavor. It even looked different than it looked today.
You know what it always looks like to me? It looks like on The Simpsons when they're the little ingots of radioactive material from Homer's work.
Yeah, that's what it looks like today. Back then, it was more of a yellowy, almost kind of like lemonade. And yeah, Dr. Hirsch would tell my mom, Vinnie's been throwing up on it. Give him a little Gatorade. And my mom would always go, hey, you don't need much of this, just a little bit. And she'd pour a little bit in the glass. And that's how we got, came back from the flu or any kind of stomach problem. And then people started figuring out, oh, you're cutting grass. It's all outside. Gatorade. But this started off as something for football players in the deep South. And then it went into, hey, we could drink this every day. And then I think Coca-Cola bought it from the Stokely's company. And the next thing you know, they're putting high fructose corn syrup in it. It doesn't taste anything. You don't even taste the electrolytes anymore because they've completely changed the formula and so on and so forth.
Yeah, it used to taste a little salty and sweet.
Really salty. And this is the same sort of thing. It's made for athletes, but more non-athletes are going to use it than athletes. So in other words, if you're doing it's coming up, or maybe it just came up, the race in the desert, the Badwater 135. These guys have to get food in them constantly to run 135 miles through the hottest desert in the world. This product is for them, right? But how does it work for you? Well, you wake up in the morning, you're going to go for a run. It's Saturday, you're going to go for a hike. And maybe you don't want to eat breakfast. Maybe you're going out there fasted and you're going to go 2 or 3 hours fasted, but now it's noontime. Great time for one of these. You just suck it down. You're going out like my buddy Terry Lazaru from Canada. He's like me. He's a cyclist. He's going to go out. He might be out there, if he's cycling like me, 5, 6, 7 hours, right? Bring 3 or 4 of those with you and no problem. Even 2 would work on 4 or 5 hours. That's fine. Meal replacement. You don't have time for lunch. You're in the middle of a meeting. You got a couple hanging around your office, on your job site, wherever you work construction. You want to get something done before the rain ends. Yes. You got one, open it, squirt it in your mouth. It could be a meal replacement if you wanted to. It could be, a quick meal if you need it. I've used, back when, I'll mention the other product, when we had F-Bomb as a sponsor, I used it on long trips. If I was driving across country, I didn't want to stop. Where are you going to go to a truck stop? Where are you going to get there? Nothing good. There's nothing but McDonald's. There's Starbucks with Frappuccinos and everything else. This is a good time. You want to stop at Starbucks and get a black coffee? Great. Take one of these, squirt it in your mouth, right? That's when you want to use it. So there's a ton of practical uses for this product outside of athletics. That's the point I want to make.
Yeah.
Practical use outside of athletics. Second question that's got the most votes. Adding oil to my coffee ends the fast, though, right? No, not really. It depends. It depends on who you talk to. talked to Jason Fung. I want to get Jason back on the podcast. He hasn't been on in a while. Most people will tell you, if you're having less than 50 calories, whatever, so oil in the coffee, it can be heavy whipping cream, which is an oil. It can be MCT oil. That's not really breaking a fast. Yeah, you're giving your body something to hang on to. Just a little fat like that is not going to break you out of a fast the way, 2 or 3 eggs and bacon will. So, yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. Let's see, Mark Thompson, can I scroll? Oh, yeah, look at me, I can scroll. Depending on the reason for fasting, Jason Funk said, Mark says that a little of it is not going to be a problem. So, yeah, Mark Thompson answered that question. Jason Funk says it's not a problem.
Vinnie, can I point out to another couple important questions here?
Yeah, go.
Melody is asking what the shelf life is. And in point of fact, the shelf life is pretty much unlimited. Like anything that is packed in this kind of a way where it's completely sealed and no oxygen gets in, this will last for a very long time. I can't tell you exactly what the shelf life would be, but I guarantee you if you kept this in your cupboard and you forgot about it for 2 years and opened it, it would be totally fine.
I still have nut butters. Back there was a company, I can't remember the name of it. I wish I could go and look it up now. Where I know what it was. It was Justin's. Justin's puts.
Yeah, no, Justin's. Yeah,
Justin's. And I, before any of this, I would just take Justin's nut butter on rides with me, mountain bike rides and hikes. I got some of that stuff that's 5 years old.
Yeah,
and, I still take it and use it.
Yeah, it's fine. Nancy wanted to know how this product differs from F-bomb nut butters, and it differs in a couple ways. Number one, we're using exclusively almond butter, and they're using a combination of different nut butters. Almond butter is one of the most stable and one of the best sources for fat and protein of all the nuts. So that's number one. And then probably the biggest difference is that we are including the electrolytes in there, the ultra-salt electrolytes, which no other product has.
And to add to that, you get more for less money.
That's right. Their pouches are 1 ounce, whereas ours are 1 1/4 for the same price.
Yeah, for the same price, you get more of ours, so you get more product. And
25% more.
And I have to say, because look, they sponsored me dutifully for a long time, and I love the product. Ours just simply tastes better.
Yeah, they do. And I like their product, so that I'm not slandering their product in any way, shape, or form.
Great product. I advertised for those guys for years.
No, it's a great product.
My good buddy Ross and Cara, when they started that company, I talked about this on the podcast, and if you don't listen to my podcast, I'll talk about it again because you might not know this. And I think, Andy, it's worth talking about this here. I'm a fan of that company, and it was started by Ross Taylor and his wife Cara, and they were mom and popping it, and they turned it was a great product. They turned this product into something fabulous. And like with most things, someone came along and bought the company, and like they kept them on for a while. And like most things, they kind of pushed the mom and pop to the side. Ross and Cara was out because they sold the company to someone else. And a couple of little things happened at that point. It didn't bother me at all. But one of the things that happened was they moved it from 1.25. And someone was showing the packets. Oh, yeah, look, I still have the old packets when it was 1.25. And they went down to 1 ounce. So at the same price, they were giving you less. That's what companies do. They have bean counters. Andy and me, we don't have bean counters. We do it ourselves. And so we don't have to answer to investors or anyone.
I'm the bean counter.
Andy's the bean counter. And we yell at each other, and then we decide on something, and that's it.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. Another problem is, and this is why I had to stop letting them advertise. Bottom line, they started making food. They made a bar, and the bar contains, I want to say honey or monk fruit or allulose. I can't remember but allulose, maybe monk fruit, maybe both, maybe some honey. I can't remember. But it had sugar in it, and they went away from the original principle of what Ross and Cara was doing. And as I've said on my podcast from day one, if Kellogg's came to me and said, Vin, here's $1 million to do one ad one day on your show, I would have to turn them down. I know you would say, well, Vin, come on, you're crazy. It's like, no, on that day, you give up what you believe in. You know, I'm letting you advertise one time. I'm showing to you that my moral compass is not heading north anymore. You know, I'm bending the rules to take the money, and I'm not going to whore myself out. And you know, this company, I love them. They supported me for a long time. Ross and Cara are still friends. I can't wait for this pandemic to be over with so I can go travel out to Flagstaff and hang out with them. They have a wonderful new restaurant. What's that restaurant called, Andy?
That's called The Real Kitchen.
The Real Kitchen. They opened this restaurant right in the middle of the pandemic. I've tasted the food. Andy tasted the foods there. We were running through town one day, and they made a bunch of great stuff for us. And
it's delicious, yeah.
And,
I want to get to a couple more questions here, Vinnie, important ones.
Sure.
Don wants to know if you would still need to use ultra salt with this product on long endurance rides. I'm going to let you handle that.
Yes, the answer is yes. And here's why. There's about half of an ultra salt per product. So on a cool day or a cold day, let's say you're in a glacier, you're hiking in the winter, you're cycling in the winter, this might be way more than enough. But in the sweltering summer heat, when you're just pouring sweat and you're drinking a lot more water, you're going to dilute way too fast. So I would still add the principle of adding one per 12 ounces of water of the ultra salt. Yeah. So it doesn't take the place of, but
next question from Carl. During outdoor activity, will the heat of the day affect the ultrafat in a negative way? And the very quick answer is no. It's not going to hurt it at all. Even no matter how hot it is, you're still going to need to give that packet a good squeeze. Make sure it's all nicely mixed, because they're literally, unless you're putting in some sort of a chemical emulsifier, which is obviously something we would never do, the product is going to separate a little bit inside. So you just give it a little squeeze, make sure that you do it up and down before you open it, and you'll be fine. I don't care if it's 120 degrees outside. It'll be fine. Oh,
by the way, Andy, someone's just asking on the side here. Yes, Summit is the code for the discount. The discount through this Summit, and this won't go on forever, and this goes out to Nelson and Jay Nelson and Laurie, is 20% off. So if you get the discount, if you get the subscription, you get one discount, that makes it 21. It goes down to like $17 and something.
Yeah, it's about $17 if you do the subscription, because at subscription it's $21.24. So whatever 80% of $21.24 is, if somebody wants to do a quick calculation, that's what you would pay if you subscribe, and you get your discount this time for the 20% for using Summit. And that'll be up until Tuesday, and then it goes away. Any other discounts that we do after that, will not be that much.
Yeah, even if I do a discount, like a Vinnie discount later on the podcast or something, it's going to only be like 5% or something. So
it might be 10, but it's not going to be 20.
Yeah, 20%. We are cutting it to the quick, because we want to get it in your hand. So if you're on the fence and you don't want to do a subscription, I would at 20%. I would tell you to order 5 of them, 6 or 7 packets, because you'll have a lot.
Try both flavors, see which ones you like.
Yeah, get both flavors. Get 2 or 3 packets of each. You'll know what you want to do in the future.
We've sort of answered this question, but I want to answer it more specifically, because Sarah is asking, can you talk about what to do with the product? Just eat it out of the package or put it in a drink daily? And, number one, yes, eat it out of the package. I don't honestly know what would happen if you tried to blend it with, like cream or something like that. I don't know.
I do know. Thank you, who asked that question?
Sarah asked that question.
Sarah, I've done this a few times with it, and it's actually pretty good. Now, I have a weird palate. I haven't tried it with the coffee flavor, but with the other one, I've put my cup of coffee. I measured my cup of the mug size coffee, not a little demi-tasse like this, but a mug size coffee. I poured it hot into my bullet, the NutriBullet, and I squeezed the equivalent of 1 pack in there. Did a quick whiz on it, and it's kind of a drinkable meal for breakfast if you don't want to eat a whole lot, and it's got a pretty good taste to it. I've also done that and added just not even a tablespoon, like a teaspoon of heavy whipping cream to that, and it makes it a real creamy treat. So, and by the way, I was going to do some of my Tuesday tip and all that stuff we do. Once I had the product in my hand, I was going to do it so I could squeeze it from the product to show you guys how I do it. So I will be making that video shortly. But yeah, there it is. I'm giving it up early. It tastes good, and I meant to tell you that last week. I've been doing that.
Yeah, and I've done that in the past where I've made like a kind of a shake by taking heavy whipping cream and almond butter and ice and throwing that into the Ninja. And I got to tell you, that's delicious. We have time for one more question, and this is the one with the most votes. Bill is asking, what else is in the works for NSNGFoods.com? And though we can't say exactly what yet, I can say that we are working on at least 2 additional products that we hope to have up soon, but we wanted to focus on this one first before we went really any further on the R&D, as they say, the research and development.
Yeah, and by the way, Andy, I came up with 2 more products I want to do.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm like on fire.
Yeah, you're on fire. That worries me, but excites me at the same time.
Andy, I'm broke. I put all my money into this, so if people don't buy this, we can't make any other products. So we need to sell some of this so we can go and make some more products. But we are working on other stuff, and I came up with 2 more when I was out hiking the other day.
Okay, well, I look forward to hearing what is up your sleeve.
I didn't want to. We were so busy trying to get this going.
I know. And why does Andy use a wimpy Y? ANDIE is just never a boy's name.
It's like Andy McDowell. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
How does Andy McDowell do it? Why?
IE. ANDIE is the way women spell it, and ANDY is the way, I don't know, that's how it's always been.
And by the way, the wimpy Y is not really wimpy. It's just something I started saying, and it caught on. So
yeah. It's silly. And Ben, yes, we will have an affiliate program for this product, and we are going to be sending out an email to all of our Pure Vitamin Club affiliates to invite them to join this program. The affiliate program that we have now works very, very well, and absolutely, we encourage that. The more we can get the word out about this product, the more, the better. So that is all the time we have. We have a 10-minute break now before we come back with Peter Ballerstedt.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Stick around. You guys will love this last session of the day, and we will get Nina rescheduled for tomorrow. She apologizes, and we don't know whose mistake it was.
I don't know. It might have been my mistake, and if it is, I apologize. But we'll get it worked out, and this is sometimes how it is. You do this stuff on the fly. That's it. Everybody come back in 10 minutes for session 6. And once again, the promo code on nsngfoods.com is SUMMIT. And see y'all soon.